Like to take a moment to thank our valued sponsors. John Travis, a financial coach and certified Kingdom advisor with Richard Young Associates, a registered investment advisor. We'd also like to thank Sense of Satisfaction by Cricket. And a special thanks goes to Paul H. Bush, the Burning Bush. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this show may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors. And if you would like to sponsor, please reach out. We'd love to have you. It's time to hear the story, make the connection, learn the lesson, and gain the wisdom. Are you ready? Let's get charged and be changed. The Sister Speak Brother Break Show. Conversations on grace, healing, and deliverance. This is Marcy Bush. Come on, let's journey together. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Sister Speak Brother Break Show. As I always say, I have a special guest here with me today, and this is a guest who we tried to get it together before. I'm going to go and tell you who it is first, and then I'll do the rest. But her name is Shamon Pressley, and she's affectionately called Shay. So we'll be calling her Shay today. That's how everybody knows her. And this is a conversation, Shay, that we tried to have a few months ago, and things did not work out. But as it turns out, God had another testimony in the making. So now is actually the perfect timing. So I just want you all to expect for your life to be better, because Shay is about to tell her story. Thank you so much for joining us, Shay.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I don't know. How long have you been coming to New Beginning?
Me and Pop been together for what, 15 years?
Okay.
Maybe about 15, 14 years, maybe.
Okay. And that's how I know you, is through seeing you at church.
Mm-hmm.
That is really the extent of how I know you. But over the course of time, there have been different times when I know that you've needed prayer for certain things. We were expecting God to do certain things. And so that's how I came to know you best. But so I'm going to be learning about you as our guests learn about you. I know part of the story, but I'm glad to hear your full story. So tell me about Little Shay.
Ooh, Little Shay.
What were you like as a little girl?
Energetic, bad. Everybody loved me. I have a couple of aunts and uncles on my mom's side that don't have any kids. So like I kind of take that part for them. Like I kind of hold that place for them. So like I'm
spoiled.
Yes, very. Still am.
Okay. So growing up, were you an only child growing up?
No, I wasn't. I actually had a brother and a sister. My brother and my sister, they were on a go-kart and going out of the yard to turn around, and a car hit them and they passed away. So
really,
instead of like telling people, the full story, I don't want to go into it. I just always say I'm an only child.
Okay, I gotcha. And how old were you?
12. I was 12. My sister was 11, and my brother was 4.
Okay. Wow. How did that impact you at that age?
I'm actually still dealing with it. I guess because I saw it. So I never got over it. Never got over it. Here go the tissue part.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you sharing with us. I do. And I didn't realize you saw that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At a young age, I always said that, like, even though I was 12, I used to always say, like, I wish I because it was so young. I just, I kind of felt like it should have been me, like, because it was so young. Then I wasn't mean to him, but just that particular day, like, I normally would have got on it first. Okay. I would have told him, no, y'all, I'm the oldest. I'm gonna get on it first, but I just let him get on it first.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But that should also let you know that, and because of the teaching that we have too, we understand that although there are mistakes in life, God allows certain things. And so they had done what they were supposed to do in the earth. God still needed you here to manifest some miracles, obviously. Did you ever get counseling or anything like that?
No, sometimes, not saying that I had bad parents, because my parents were great, but I think they thought that I was too young to even understand what was going on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and then, sometimes in the Black community, they don't think that, they don't, therapy and stuff like that, that kind of don't exist to us,
Right. And it's really just coming to the forefront, probably in the last 5 years, or even more so since COVID hit.
Right.
It's when you started hearing about it, more in our community.
Right.
And so I understand you not having gotten it. Like you said, a lot of our parents, and I'm probably close to old enough to be your mama. I don't know. But yeah, it just was not heard of a lot. And so like you said, they weren't bad parents, but that's just not the way we handled things.
Right.
Well, I thank God for keeping you here. After your siblings passed, how did life change for you?
Like a month right after my siblings passed, my parents split up. Okay. Like, sometimes things like that, they, I think that was just the end for them. It was already rocky. So like that kind of, finalized things. And so like I really went through it. I had just lost my siblings. My whole family done broke up. So, you know what I mean? So I was bad. Okay. I was bad. Yeah. For a while, I was bad.
Okay. You were, and it doesn't feel like bad is the right word.
I think I was acting out because, like I said, I didn't get the counseling, and like I said, my whole family was just gone.
Right. And you didn't know how to cope. You were a child. 12, 13, that's a child. Even 17, 18 is still a child.
Right.
But 12, 13, you were just trying to cope, baby. You weren't, and of course, you weren't bad. Maybe you acted out, like you said, you did some things, but it was just so you were really showing out. But it sounds like you were trying to recalibrate. How you trying to get it back in the road.
Yeah. I just want some sense of normalcy. I guess nothing was normal anymore. What I knew as normal was gone.
Okay. Was there anybody during that time that was like a leveler for you, or somebody that you could go to like for that peace, or to kind of offset what you were feeling?
My uncle, he's technically my first cousin, but my grandma raised him, so he's my uncle. Well, I call him like my brother, my uncle, all of it in one, because we're so close. But like he was always like that person, like still to this day, like if I got a problem going on, like I'm gonna call him. I'll call him, I call my mom.
Okay. And it's always good to have somebody. Always good. So at what age do you think maybe you really started to level off and come out of some of that acting out? Was it a while?
17, 18.
Was there anything that you started doing that helped you cope?
I just started to care more, and I saw how bad my behavior was bothering my mom, and how bad it really drove a wedge between me and my mom.
Okay. Okay.
So I think I just kind of grew up.
Okay. Now, were you active in any things in school? Like,
I mean, I went to the career center for cosmetology, but other than that,
okay. Okay. I didn't realize that. Okay.
that's actually how I met Pop.
Really?
Alvin, sorry.
No, Pop. Who is your husband?
Yep, I met him through Trina. She introduced us.
Okay. Okay. Well, she must have seen something in you. She introduced you to family.
I actually told, because he had dreads at the time, so I told them girls, I said, I got the one with the dreads. So I did his pedicure. I did his first pedicure ever.
Okay. Okay. So you were doing who was that? I think Naomi told Ruth to go to Boaz's feet. So you were doing the little thing, didn't even know it, but
didn't even know it.
Yeah, but you were utilizing that thing from the Bible, girl. So what I know more about is the issues that you have with your health. So when did that manifest? When did you find out about that, and what was it?
Like literally right after I calmed down with my behavior.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was like the summer of 2009. Okay. I started, I got really, really tired. Like all I wanted to do was sleep. I didn't have an appetite to eat. And like I went to the doctor a couple of times and they would tell me that I had a UTI or a bladder infection. But the last time I went, I had what they call the butterfly rash. It was like a real, almost like a big mole or a big birthmark on my face. And when my parents took me to the emergency room, they knew exactly what it was then.
Really?
And automatically put me on dialysis.
Okay. So tell us, what did they tell y'all?
They told me it was lupus, well, they call it lupus nephritis, which is lupus that attacks the kidneys.
Okay. Now, were you all familiar with lupus at all?
Not at all. Like nobody in the family.
Okay, wow. So what was that like for you hearing that, and your parents hearing that diagnosis?
For my mama, being that she had already lost 2 kids, like it was really, really, well, and my dad too, like it was really scary for them, but I guess because of how I grew up and growing up with the situation with my brother and my sister, like I'm like, okay, I got this.
You were
I didn't do such and such, so yeah, okay. I got it.
Okay, well that's good. That's good.
Like it never, like of course as I got older with it, like it bothered me because I'm 19, 20 years old and I got to take like 5, 10 pills a day. Like, and I'm like, I'm not normal no more. So it was like, it was bouts that I stopped taking my medicine. Okay. Like just because I wanted to be normal again, but I had to realize like, can't do that. Right,
right. So for those of us who don't know, tell us what lupus is.
It's an autoimmune disease. It's basically my body is fighting against itself, in which my case, my body attacks my kidneys.
Okay. Okay. And what did that,
I said it tries to shut them down. Well, it did shut them down. But with the first, when I was first diagnosed, when they put me on the dialysis, they recovered. Okay. I was only on dialysis for 2 months and they recovered. Okay. So I didn't have to do the dialysis anymore, but I did have to take the medicine. Okay.
And was there ever a time when you had to start dialysis again, or?
The first time was 2009 and the second time was 2016.
Oh, really? So it was under control all that time? Okay. And then what happened in 2016 that let you know? What did that incident look like?
I was at work actually, and like I just got sick. I felt faint. I started throwing up. And so one of my coworkers that I've known for a long time, she called my mom. She, told her what was going on, and she took me to the emergency room. I think I was admitted for like a week or two, and they put me back on dialysis. And I think I was on it that was July of 2016, and I was on it until February of 2018.
Okay. And how, during that stint of dialysis, did you still have that same resilient attitude, or was it different this time?
It was different.
How so?
I kept wondering, because I kept telling myself I wasn't going back on dialysis, and like I was going to do everything it took for me not to. But I ended up.
Did they say what? And is that just, it's just a product of the autoimmune disease that you don't know when it's gonna amp up?
Right. Like you can have flare-ups and stuff like that, and like your blood pressure can target it, and like it's different things that can target your kidneys, but all of that plays a role in my case.
So how you would go to a center for dialysis?
The center I went to was called NCA, and it was on Green Street.
And how often did you have to go?
Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Well, I started off on Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, but somehow I ended up switching my schedule, and it went to Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I had to be there at 5:30 in the morning.
And how long did it last? How long during a day were you?
3.5 hours.
How long?
3.5 to 4 hours.
Okay. And what was it like in the center? Were there people that you got used to seeing? Were you just kind of in your own world, or what was that like?
Most of the time, I guess because you're around them all the time, like you have assigned seats.
Okay.
And like you get used to, I used to call them my neighbors. Like you get used to your neighbors. And I was the youngest person there. I think I was 28, 29 at the time. So I'm the youngest person there. So sometimes I would go in and see, speak to people. And the next day I go in and they not there because they done passed away.
Okay.
So like I would come home telling my husband all these different stories of like, such and such had a seizure on the machine today and they didn't make it. Like 2 seats down from me. And he's like, no, we can't have this.
Right. So now let me back up then. So when did you get married?
2015. Yeah, we skipped that.
We did. So you got married in 2015.
And I was perfectly healthy then.
Okay. Was Pop aware of the issue of you having lupus?
He was there with me when I was diagnosed.
Okay. So he's been in your life since when?
2007-ish.
Okay. So he's been in there the whole time. Aware of it, seen the ups and downs.
Definitely.
Okay. And then you say y'all got married in 2015?
February, on his birthday, February 2015.
Okay. And then 2016, you went back on dialysis. And what were the doctors giving you? Any kind of feedback? Did they expect this to be long-term? What were they saying about it?
They basically said that, I'll be on it until I got a kidney transplant.
Okay.
And I was looking for it to be like the first time, like, my kidney's they're gonna recover. What happened. I told them, I'm like, well, I'm using the restroom a lot. Can we do like a urinalysis, a 24-hour urine to make sure like my kidneys hadn't started back working? And we did it. And
so help me, because I don't understand everything. I know people who are on dialysis, but I don't understand everything with like urinating, not urinating, what the dialysis does. Like I don't know that. So help.
Okay, so what your kidneys do? Your kidneys clean your blood. they filter, all the bad things out of your blood. So mine stopped working. So therefore I had to go on the, the dialysis, and it cleans your blood. It pulls all your blood out into a big machine, and it cleans your blood and filters it, and it puts it back. So I might be able to show you the little scar on my arm. It's like they call it an AV fistula, but you can call it. But yeah, they would put one needle right here. AV fistula.
Okay.
It's called a arterial veins fistula. So yeah, they put one needle right here and one needle right there, and I guess this one would pull it out, and this one would, circulate it back in. But,
Okay. And so it's not. And so tell me, how does it? So you were still urinating, but it wasn't filtering like it should.
Right.
Okay. So that's why you had to go on dialysis. It wasn't about the urination. Because I, like I said, for me, I don't know. So I'm like, well, do people who are on dialysis, do they not?
And some people don't. Some people don't.
Okay. So it just depends. Okay. And so you said you were on dialysis until 2018. So what happened in 2018 that you came off?
I got it.
So tell us about the transplant. How did that go down?
What happened was in 2017, of course, when you're on dialysis, like some people, not some people, but they have, what do you call them? Caseworkers. They'll come around, they'll give you information on getting transplants and what hospitals to go to. Well, I didn't know that you can be on multiple lists, but they have to be in different regions.
Oh, really?
So I happened to be speaking with one of the nurses that was hooking me up to the machine. She was like, you can go on multiple lists, just it has to be in different regions. And at the time I was trying to get on MCG's list. But I don't know what told me to, like, if you can get on multiple lists, just try. And I did Duke and Durham. I did MUSC in Charleston, and I also did, I canceled out MCG and went to Emory in Atlanta. Because they're in the same region. So I had to do either or. And so I told my family, I was like, I just rather travel, And so Duke, what happened with Duke? They were moving a little slow.
Okay.
And I'm like, I got to get off of this thing. And like, and Emory, they were on it. They were on it.
Now, how old were you at that time?
28, 29.
Okay. And so finish telling me about the process. So what happened, like, how long, do you remember how long you were on the list?
Okay, I started the list and I started the whole, process, or the evaluation, what they call it. Because they have to do all kinds of tests, like tissue tests, and make sure my body can go through everything, and all types of stuff.
At each of those locations where you went?
Well, I couldn't get in with, this is March now, and I couldn't get my evaluation even started with MUSC until September. So I didn't even go to them at all.
Okay.
But I started with Duke and Emory in March.
Okay.
But
you said you have to get all kinds of tests and stuff done first of all.
Yeah, even me and my donor. Like, I had several people that wanted to, be on my donors list. But some people, if they couldn't give it to me directly, they don't want to give it at all.
Okay. So tell me what you mean about directly.
So what me and Pop did, my husband did, we did the paired donor exchange, which means he gave his to someone else and their donor gave me theirs. He didn't match me, but he matched their donor, and their recipient and their donor gave me theirs. I think his went to Chicago and mine came from Chicago. Okay.
So check this out though. How wild is it that you had people who wanted at all, directly or indirectly? There are a lot of people who want a kidney.
Right.
Like, I love you, but I really don't know about that.
Right.
So the fact that you had multiple people
Mm-hmm.
who were willing shows not only that you are loved, because I'm not saying other folks aren't loved,
Yeah.
but not only that you are loved, but fortunate enough that there were people who were willing to do so.
Yeah.
So did you know about, what do you call it? You said the parrot. What do you call it?
Parrot donor. Parrot donor exchange. No, I didn't know about it until I went to the, to the evaluations, and they were, explaining everything to me and how it would go and how it could turn out, and
Wow. So where were you when you got when you received the transplant?
Emory in Atlanta.
And when
they did
that happened in 2018.
Yeah,
Thanks so much for joining us today. If you've been blessed by today's show, feel free to let us know. And if you'd like to sow into this ministry, become a sponsor, or contact us, you can reach us at 803-221-0169. Or you can email us at the ssbbshow@gmail.com. Let's continue this journey together. Missed any of our past episodes?
The pain that I've gone through, I've been through lots. Depression, perversion, low self-esteem, rejection. But I'm here, and I'm loving life, and I'm changed forever. I'm trying to maim you, to leave you, physically and mentally, maim you. He wanted your life.
I don't think he so much wanted my life is that he wanted some results. He wanted me to stay in the earth and not be who I am now.
Piece where you start talking about it was your love walk.
yes.
We had an opportunity to not only share our experience, but find out that there were so many women in the room who had similar experiences.
Advice would you give to people who find themselves in the grips of grief right now?
The pain is inevitable, but the suffering is optional.
You were still sick, you still weren't well, but did something change for you when they gave it a name?
Yes, because once they put a label on it, I felt like it was putting a label on me.
We're in the class, and the first thing this guy says when he comes in the room, he started pointing. Dead, 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 to everybody in the room. So he started talking about, you're an alcoholic, you're an alcoholic. And I said, I ain't no alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. So I said, I'm an alcoholic.
But you still didn't believe it.
I said it just so I could get out the class. Yeah. I still ain't think I was no alcoholic.
So when did you realize you were?
After I got delivered.
Oh my God.
Catch up on past shows on my YouTube channel at Marcy Bush, MarceyBush. And be sure to subscribe so you won't miss any future episodes.